Welcome to the ABCs of Disability series, where we highlight the challenges facing the disability community and find solutions to those problems. In a previous episode, Ria Mohammed-Davidson, attorney at law, told us that we really don't have holistic disability legislation to support the needs of persons with disabilities and their families in Trinidad and Tobago. This is very important information for the disability community. We need clarity to move forward. We need to keep our lights on to see the road and the signposts that tell us which way to go. We would like to thank the Human Rights Committee of the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago and Mrs. Ria Mohammed-Davidson, attorney at law, for providing that clarity and for being a contributor to the ABCs of Disabilities series, The Law and Disabilities in Trinidad and Tobago.
Is a fact, strictly facts, from front or the back.
In this episode, Ria tells us exactly why these laws are needed.
You know, from my legal training, one of the things that you're always taught is that law plays a very, very important role in the society. It tells you what kind of society you have. It tells you what are the values of that society. It also tells you the rules that govern that society, so that the absence of laws kind of creates a lacuna, especially if you're in a vulnerable community, as most persons with disabilities are. It creates a lacuna because things may be happening to you that are violations of your human rights, but you don't have any avenue for redress. The other thing that happens to a lot of people who are in vulnerable communities is that they are not aware of what their rights are. All of that will change if we have some kind of disability legislation, because that legislation is going to concretize what exactly are your entitlements and your human rights as a person with disabilities. So you're going to have recognition and protection of those rights. And the other important thing is that that law, once it is passed, it becomes binding, so that the government and state agencies have to abide by it. And if they don't, because it is a law, you have an avenue for enforcement, which would be to go through the courts or some type of legal procedure. And it's interesting that in Trinidad and Tobago, we tend to think that we are ahead of the curve in so many areas. But there are a lot of other Caribbean countries that have already passed disability legislation. We have Jamaica, we have Guyana, we have the Bahamas. So from a disability perspective and the types of laws that we need, Trinidad and Tobago is actually kind of lagging behind.
Yes, you heard it. Law plays a very important role in our society. It tells us the rules that govern that society. And in the absence of laws, that creates a lacuna, or a hole, or a gap, a dystopian wormhole, where anything can happen to you, and you have no avenue for redress and no avenue for enforcement. So can you imagine the fear and anxiety that parents of children with disabilities in Trinidad and Tobago feel when we try to imagine a future for them?
Captain, there's nothing here. Pull away, pull away.
And we think we're ahead of the curve when other Caribbean countries have already passed legislation. As Ria said, we are lagging behind. Join us in episode 3 when Ria tells us about Trinidad and Tobago's signing and ratification of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the first treaty of the 21st century. If you like this content, give it a like and share it across all your contacts and all your networks. Don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook pages, Cause and Effect, a very special disabilities forum, and like our YouTube page. Until then, keep your light on, mask up, sanitize, and keep your distance.